Hello and welcome to the Educational Academy again. It's Judith Hay, and today we're going to look at price adjustment formula. This particular spreadsheet has been created by the British Electrotechnical and Allied Manufacturers Association. I'm going to call them BEAMA. I think you'll find it easier if I do. And there are a suite of indices that have been produced. This one's an electrical one that relate to periods in time, and they've issued numbers to attach to them. Let me show you them first. So we can see some numbers, and as a base in 1980 it was 100, and the indices in January 2005 was 640.2, which rose in August of 2008 to 734.9. This is not cash, this is an indices, remember. Materials, the indices in 2000 was a base of 100, and that rose up to 139.30 in 2007. Now, no buyer in his right mind will withstand this indices from the start, but they will withstand an average of those indices over a period of time. And for the purposes of the formula, it's assumed that for the first third of the contract you know what your price is going to be, and it will be this. So you can't start your average until a third of the way through for labour. Okay? So they create an average there, and if I double click you can see it's an average of that period. And with materials, they assume that you will start your purchase, and you'll probably buy a fifth of your purchase to begin with, or 2/5 in this case, and that when you get 4/5 of the way through the contract you're unlikely to be buying more after that period. So they take an average of that amount. You can see that here. I'll double click and you can see there's an average there. So that's the premise we're working on to begin with. Now let's have a look at it in more detail. The contract price that was agreed and was tendered for was on the 20th of January 2005 for £20,000. And the order was placed a couple of weeks, 3 weeks later, the 14th of February, and the end of the contract is the 12th of August. Now, because we need a third of the way through 2/5 and 4/5, we'll calculate those, and then we can go back to the indices and check, which I've just shown you. And the reason I coloured these is because you can see the initial indices and the final averages of the indices. Okay? Then we come on to a formula, and the formula says that the final contract price will be equal to the original contract price multiplied by 0.05 plus 47.5% of the final average material cost over the initial material cost index, plus 47.5% of the final average labour cost index divided by the initial labour cost index. Okay? Bit of a complicated one to do, but I want to show you what it looks like. And let me see if I can just show you this. That's the actual calculation as it will look, and if I stretch this out you can see it written down. Equals E23 times by 0.05 plus 47.5%, which is 0.475, times by E24 divided by E25 plus 47.5%, or 0.7475, times by E26 divided by E27. Okay? So let me remove that so we don't go into a major panic. And you can see that it is perfectly acceptable for a supplier to say that there are likely to be increased costs during the course of this contract, which will make my base price of £20,000 rise to £22,810.20. It will be equally fine for a buyer to say that's a reasonable price because he's used the correct formula, he's used the indices that have been produced independently, and I can see exactly where he's got that price from. So yes, I can agree that price. I hope that makes things a little simpler for you all, and I look forward to talking to you soon.